everybody, it's Luigi Pat here, and today I'll be doing my very first MLP analysis. Today I'll be doing a brief analysis on Griffon the Brush-Off. And I will actually have a script with me, by the way. There is no script. However, before doing the recording, I did think about every single scene in my mind, and I pretty much have everything in my mind. So, with that being said, I'm going to talk about Griffon the Brush-Off. So, when the episode starts, you see Pinkie Pie fangirling over Rainbow Dash, and I honestly don't know where it came from. It didn't seem like Pinkie Pie showed any intentions of fangirl over Rainbow Dash in the beginning, or at all, and then all of a sudden she's fangirling over her, and I don't know, it feels kind of weird. I mean, Rainbow Dash has shown some awesome things, but she seems like she got it out of nowhere. It's like an off-screen thing. And the thing is here, she continues to fangirl her over and over again. And as you can see, Twilight is trying to read. But she keeps on talking. And obviously, I don't know why she just doesn't tell her to keep quiet or wear some headphones. Because I would be really annoyed at this point if I'm trying to focus on my studies or reading a book. And really, while my friend here keeps yapping over Rainbow Dash and pretty much saying the same things over and over again. And she continues going there. She continues yapping and just going all crazy about her. And it's just like, at this point, I'm just like, okay, you gotta tell her eventually. But luckily for Twilight, Pinkie Pie sees Rainbow Dash flying above them, and she leaves. And as you can see by Twilight's reaction, she's pretty much as happy as you can imagine. And if I were her, I would be literally having a party. I'd be like doing some dances, doing something. I'd be like, finally, she's gone. And it's just like, my goodness. If either Twilight did not tell her, or Twilight did tell her, but it never went through her head. And I don't know. This beginning scene here is just not very nice. It's not something I enjoy seeing of Pinkie. She's just like busy yapping, and it's like, oh my god, how long do you have to keep up with this? This is so annoying. So yeah, Pinkie Pie leaves to see Rainbow Dash, and Rainbow Dash's reaction is basically my reaction. But unlike me, it's like, she's just like, not again. So basically what that means is that Rainbow Dash quite literally has been stalked or followed by Pinkie a lot, even before this episode. I don't know if it's before episode 1 or just between these episodes, but apparently Rainbow Dash is really annoyed by Pinkie and don't want to have anything to do with her. And to be quite frank, neither would I. I mean, seriously. If from what I saw, I would never want to really hang out with somebody who can't understand shut up, but then I guess I might have never said anything about it. But still, it's quite unbelievable how Pinkie Pie continues to talk and just never stops talking. She has that ability. But anyway, it's not important. So yeah, Rainbow Dash's reaction is basically what my reaction would be. It's just so, oh my god, not again. I don't want to hang out with you, and you still want to follow me, and just, damn it. So Pinkie Pie continues to chase Rainbow Dash, despite the very fact Rainbow Dash said not again. I guess Pinkie Pie might have not heard it. And then Pinkie Pie wanted to tell Rainbow Dash something, but instead of just saying, watch out for that rock, she says, hey, I gotta tell you something. She doesn't tell you directly, she just says, I gotta tell you something. Why not tell directly? I guess that's supposed to be a cartoon gag and nothing more. Or that's Pinkie Pie logic, where clearly she knows Rainbow Dash can hear her, but she just doesn't say it right away. And even if she couldn't, she should just say it, because Rainbow Dash can hear her. So why does she say, watch out for the rock? She just says, hey, hey. I mean, I don't get her. She's just one of those characters. Pinkie Pie is just so random and so out there that she never really thinks too logically at times. So yeah, after that, you had the intro, but then right after that, apparently Pinkie Pie is still looking for Rainbow Dash. So either Rainbow Dash ran away, this is another day, I don't know, but Pinkie Pie is back to looking for Rainbow Dash, even though Rainbow Dash clearly seems to have no interest. She can't get to her thick mind that she doesn't seem to be the most fun pony to hang out with, at least Rainbow Dash, you know, just saying. I mean, Jesus Christ, Rainbow Dash basically made it obvious, not again, but she clearly wants to continue following Rainbow Dash. I mean, could you imagine if you had a friend who wouldn't leave you alone? I would be like, okay, please leave me alone. I mean, come on. So yeah, After that, Pinkie Pie finally finds Rainbow Dash to, funnily enough, Twilight, the pony who was being annoyed by Pinkie at the beginning of the episode. So it's kind of funny how Twilight was being annoyed by Pinkie, then now Twilight was the one who points out Rainbow Dash, so Rainbow Dash gets annoyed by Pinkie. Maybe Twilight just doesn't want to have to deal with Pinkie, so she revealed her hiding spot, or maybe she didn't know. Probably she didn't know, but I like to think maybe, just maybe, she doesn't want to be the Pinkie Pie bait, so she just points out Rainbow Dash. So you have all the cartoon gags, Pinkie Pie being Pew, Rainbow Dash just wants to be left alone, and Pinkie Pie still cannot get the clue that Rainbow Dash has no interest at all hanging out with Pinkie Pie. At the very end, Rainbow's just tired of it. Pinkie Pie keeps following her and just gives up. And to be fair, I kind of would be tired of it too. But I don't get why Rainbow Dash doesn't just throw her off a cliff or something. Well, okay, maybe that's too brutal. But, you know, something to get it clear to her. Make it more obvious than it already is. If somebody just runs away from you, it clearly kind of shows that you don't want to have anything to do with this person or pony, at least at this point in time. But she continues following anyway, because I guess she thinks it's tag. So yeah, why did Pinkie Pie chase Rainbow Dash? Well, it's all just for a prank. That's right. Pinkie Pie chased Rainbow Dash all this way just for a prank. For real. I mean, I get that this prank requires a Pegasus to do, but she's going to do another prank just by herself. She had to chase Rainbow Dash all over the place just for a prank? You gotta be kidding me. And that prank leads to Spike getting the hiccups, and I don't really know if you can really get the hiccups from being scared. I know you can scare someone out of the hiccups, but I don't know if you can get the hiccups from it. And then, of course, this also leads to Spike continuously sending these scrolls, and because Spike's fire can send scrolls to Celestia, he continues sending scrolls. And despite knowing that fact, Spike continues picking up these scrolls, and it's just a matter of, Spike, you know you have a hiccup, and you know you're sending scrolls. Why in the hell don't you just wait? It's just, again, more cartoon humor. And Celestia actually was involved in that scene. And Celestia is not known to be involved in gags, especially in regular episodes, not premieres or finales, but that's what I mean. So yeah, after all that, Rainbow Dash scares Pinkie. Pinkie Pie gets hiccups too, because again, that's how hiccups work in the show. And then Pinkie Pie continues to until Rainbow Dash stops her. And Rainbow Dash says exactly what she should have said, except I still don't agree. And except she says she's not as annoying as she thought. And to me, I say she's a lot worse. I mean, holy crap, she keeps following you when you clearly have no interest in her whatsoever. I'm sorry, but throughout this episode and previous 4 episodes for that matter, Pinkie Pie has shown to be only as annoying character. And I guess to be fair, it's early episodes, these characters need to evolve, but my God, is Pinkie Pie so annoying at the beginning of the show. So after that, Rainbow Dash and Pinkie Pie decide to prank the rest of the main 6. There's nothing to really go in detail here. I could talk about the Fluttershy scene, but I'll save for later in the analysis. For now, I will go on to the next day, where Pinkie Pie meets this new character, Gilda. Gilda is a Griffon. This is the first appearance of a Griffon in the show. And then Gilda clearly shows similarities to Rainbow Dash. Not only do they come from the same camp, but they also have very similar personalities. They both want to be the best, and all that stuff. I don't need to explain their similarities. You can kind of tell just from seeing this episode. So yeah, them being in the same camp, they also had that cheer, and it's very clear that Gilda does not like that cheer at all. But something I noticed, and I didn't notice the first time, or really understood, is that Gilda didn't need to do said chant. There was no reason for her to do it, like, at all. Like, there's no reason. But she did it all just for Rainbow Dash. And that actually gives me a little, appreciation to Gilda for doing that, because the chant they do is something that I would never want to do myself. And this wasn't required. Gilda could have said no, but she decided just for Rainbow Dash. And that's really nice of her. That's actually showing sign of a good friend if you're willing to do stuff that you really don't want to do. That's kind of very nice of her, honestly. So yeah, at this point, Gilda and Rainbow Dash has clearly had some pretty close bonds here. And then Gilda wants to hang out with only Rainbow Dash. And that, well, I can see why. Some friends rather hang out with just one other friend. And especially considering Pinkie Pie is just new and Gilda has literally no idea who this pink pony is at this point. And she just wants to hang out with Rainbow Dash. So everything seems fine. And then before Rainbow Dash leaves to follow Gilda, Rainbow Dash even mentioned it was okay for them to hang out for just a day. And then Pinkie Pie said it was okay, yet right after that, Pinkie Pie gets sad. And this is where the episode kind of gets odd for me. The thing is, I find it so weird for Pinkie Pie to be so sad so quickly. I mean, so far Gilda hasn't done anything wrong. She did a chant that she didn't need to do just for Rain Dash, and that's it. See why Pinkie Pie would be so jealous or worried. I mean, the thing is, what I see here to me is kind of odd. I mean, what weirds me is the fact that Pinkie Pie gets sad right as soon as Rainbow Dash hangs out with another friend. I mean, are you kidding me? You just spent the entire day yesterday having pranks with the rest of your best friends, and you're already getting jealous just the fact she's hanging out with other friends. Rainbow Dash deserves to have other friends you can hang out with, Pinkie Pie. You have four other best friends you can hang out. And then last I checked, you're friends with everyone in Ponyville. Maybe you could say maybe not at this point in time, but how about your other four best friends? You don't want to hang out with them? I know that Rainbow Dash is the best pony to be with if you want to prank. But seriously, you got sad the moment Rainbow Dash hangs out with some other creature. And it's just like, why? You spend the entire day hanging out with Rainbow Dash, making pranks, and then you're ready to get jealous the moment she hangs out with Gilda. Why? That's not really nice. This actually does show jealousy, because the moment she feels like, oh no, I lost Rainbow Dash, you clearly have other best friends you could hang out with, and it's just like she just wants to hang out with her old best friend. Who knows when they last met? It was never specified. And then it's just a matter of, I don't get Pinkie Pie being so sad here. I mean, doesn't she understand that Rainbow Dash has other best friends? Why was she so saddened by the fact that she has other friends she'd rather hang out with for the day? I mean, if it wasn't the fact you spent the entire day yesterday, but you know about the fact that you have other best friends to hang out with, and I just don't get it. So yeah, obviously Rainbow Dash said later, and Pinkie Pie pretty much as later as probably an hour. I don't know. I doubt it's been a day. It doesn't seem like it because it just flew off. In fact, for all I know, it's probably only 10 minutes later. And this is where I'm starting to realize something. As again, watching this the second time, I noticed a lot more than I watched it the very first time I watched the show. Pinkie Pie chases off Rainbow Dash and Gilda. Gilda clearly does not want to have anyone disturb her time with Rainbow Dash. She just wants to have fun with Rainbow Dash. You know, this one-on-one basically. They even said that they were having a race, and it's shown they were having a race, flying race. As much as Pinkie Pie can defy physics, she can't fly. Even if Gilda wanted Pinkie Pie to join, there's no reason for her to join, because it ruins the point of their get along together time. And Pinkie Pie just follows them and does not understand. Maybe they deserve to have some time together and no one else kind of disturbing them. I mean, seriously. So yeah, Pinkie Pie disturbs them. Gilda and Rainbow Dash decide to race, and then Pinkie Pie follows them again. I mean, if it wasn't clear enough that Gilda hasn't had any interest to play around with Pinkie Pie, she made it clear the second time. And here's something also I noticed. Gilda could have gone all out of Pinkie the second time, but she didn't. She could have popped every single balloon that she was floating with, but she didn't decide to do it. Instead, she decided to just pop some, meaning that she didn't want to really hurt Pinkie Pie. She could have claws! She could have scratched Pinkie. She could have popped every balloon. She could have done everything worse. But she only popped like 10 or 5. Even though she doesn't want to have anything to do with Pinkie, she didn't want to hurt her at all. But Pinkie would not leave them alone. Gilda was eventually annoyed by this fact, all because Pinkie cannot accept the fact that Rainbow Dash has another friend she'd rather hang out with. I mean, this is a matter of, I understand that I understand if your friend has been gone for a long time, but as far as I can tell, it's only been 10 minutes or maybe a day at most. And even though, like, Gilda hasn't done anything really wrong. She just wants to hang out with Rainbow Dash alone, you know, have this one-on-one. I keep saying it because it's kind of something I did not really think about until I rewatched this episode after a year and a half. I don't remember when I first watched it. And it's like, Gilda just wants to have fun. And then here comes Pinkie Pie for the third time. And I understand that Rainbow Dash didn't have any problem with Pinkie Pie showing up. But the point still stands. Pinkie Pie got saddened by the very moment Rainbow Dash had another friend she'd rather hang out with. And it's just something I just feel like that's clearly showing jealousy. Which, yeah, after Pinkie's third appearance, Gil decided to go all out on Pinkie, made her crash, and then after that, Pinkie Pie got angry for pretty a good reason. I mean, she almost killed her, and to be fair, I can see why she'd be so angry, but that's kind of extreme. So yeah, Pinkie Pie complains to Twilight about said problem, and Twilight goes to the assumption that she's jealous. Now there's two sides to this. One, it's very wrong to pick a stranger over your best friend. I don't know why she would do that, but she did. You know what the sad thing is? The second side is, that's very true. Again, if you get sad the very moment your best friend hangs out with another best friend, the very moment, despite the entire day as shown with the Fluttershy scene where the sun was setting, you clearly saw they would probably hang out the entire day. And of course, Pinkie Pie just obviously gets angry just because Rainbow Dash wants to hang out, or Gilda wants to hang out with Rainbow Dash. Although the thing is though that Gilda does say that Pinkie Pie is basically useless and should not be a fan of Rainbow Dash, and I can see that. But ignoring that segment there, I mean, yes, Pinkie Pie is right. Gilda is mean. After that scene, it's clear. But wouldn't you be a bit angry if you just want to hang out with one of your close best friends from the past, and here comes this random pony you just met who won't leave you the fuck alone, even though it's very clear that you don't want to have anything to do with it, at least at this point in time. Who knows, if Pinkie gave Gilda time, maybe Gilda wouldn't have been so nasty to Pinkie, but she continued to follow her every step of the way. She just wanted to have fun with Rainbow Dash. But yeah, Pinkie Pie gets upset, but I will give credit to Pinkie Pie after that. And the fact that, well, it's true that Pinkie Pie is clearly jealous. She actually does think about it for a second. I mean, it wasn't for the fact that Gilda literally said, "Get lost, you're useless," then yeah, you wouldn't have been able to tell Gilda, you know. But the thing is, she actually does think about maybe that was the case, and I gotta give respect to Pinkie Pie because she actually thinks about it. It took her so long to actually realize it, but at least she thought about it, and I will give credit to credit's due. So yeah, Pinkie Pie just drinks a milkshake, of course, and then somehow, just conveniently, Rainbow Dash and Gilda shows up, and then of course they show up, and then Gilda decides to be a thief. All of a sudden, I don't know where that came from, but it surely came from somewhere. I guess Gilda was always this way. I guess it got proved the point that Gilda's only bad and nothing good about her. Again, I feel like there was more to Gilda than I initially thought, especially. So eventually Gilda does the scene that where everyone really hates. This is where everyone basically just said, nope, Gilda's worst character. This scene here. And I will admit, this was horrible. What Gilda did here was just awful and beyond belief. But this isn't the only reason why I despise Gilda, and actually I should say that she was my least favorite character for the longest time in the entire show, until I watched this episode for just a long time. Is that because it's not because of the scene where it's because of this scene. Fluttershy cries, Gilda is automatically the worst character ever. No, the reason why I had Gilda's worst character because she had no good traits about her. At least when I first saw. She was mean, a thief, she did everything that you would not want a friend to have. But once again, what I saw from Gilda earlier, she was willing to do something that she has no liking to just for Rainbow Dash. And again, she just wants to hang out with Rainbow Dash. She's not very good to anyone else, but at least she's good to Rainbow Dash. It feels like that she's a true friend to Rainbow Dash. Even in the end, which I'll go into more detail later, it's that, yes, even when Gilda was angry, she just still wanted to go with Rainbow Dash. I think Gilda was actually a true friend of Rainbow Dash, despite what she's showing here to everyone else. To Rainbow Dash, she's actually a good friend. And I don't know. They just kind of made Gilda a thief. They made her more nasty just so we could prove the point that she's all bad. I think that's what they were going for, and it just feels odd. So anyway, after that, Pinkie Pie gets rather upset. She mentions how no pony should make Fluttershy cry. And she means no pony, or I think she said no one. And this is kind of where I want to go detail. Early in the episode, Pinkie Pie did not want to play Fluttershy because Fluttershy would cry. And here, when she saw Fluttershy cry, she got really upset. It's very clear that Pinkie Pie can tell when Fluttershy is really sad, and she does not want to make Fluttershy sad at all. And that's really nice of her. 3 seasons later, that doesn't seem to be the case. And I just don't get it. I mean, to me, Pinkie Pie was definitely in character in that episode. I will not say she's not. She was definitely in character. But what I don't get is, how come she could not stand the fact Pinkie Pie Gilda made Fluttershy cry once, yet in the other episode she made Fluttershy cry twice? I don't get it. And the thing is, to me, at least my opinion, and I will go more detail when I eventually get to that episode, if a stranger making me cry or a best friend making me cry, I find the best friend to be worse. Because a stranger is like someone you just met and you won't even see much at all, if if at all for that matter. And a best friend is someone you hang out with, but you always have this kind of thought that this person made me cry for no apparent reason, even though it's very clear that I don't like this thing. If a best friend makes you sad, it's more effective than a stranger. So after that, Pinkie Pie's revenge scheme was to make a party, and then she does make a party, and then at first, when I first saw this, I legitimately thought that Pinkie Pie was the one who came up with all these pranks to get Gilda. And I gave credit to Pinkie Pie and said, this is amazing, I think she's doing a very good job getting payback. But here's the funny thing, this episode was very subtle, because, you know what? As mentioned by Raindash was the one who pulled all the pranks, and she even mentions that she just so happens to activate them. The thing is, Raindash kept pointing it out. She pointed to those pranks. Raindash only had one part as a prank, and then Gilda just accidentally got to that said prank. I love the subtlety that it seems like Pinkie Pie's doing it, but when actuality, Raindash is the one doing it. As you can tell, she's pointing every single place that will prank her, and I noticed that, and it was incredible, actually, and yeah, I really appreciate that. Turned out Pinkie Pie was just trying to turn her frown upside down, which, okay, I could see that. Although I still have to wonder if Pinkie Pie didn't disturb them in the first place, would have Gilda been this way? And then Gilda loses it, and then she calls everyone lame, and then, of course, like I mentioned, Gilda actually still wants to hang out with Raindash, but Raindash starts to realize that Gilda cannot accept other friends. Although, to be fair, Pinkie Pie kind of was not in the beginning, it seems like. Seriously, though, I still cannot believe that. So, yeah, Raindash steps up for her friends, which is really nice of her. And at first, this was one of the best scenes of the best scene of this episode, or one of the best scenes of the season. But now looking back at it, was Gilda really a bad friend to Raindash to begin with? Considering what she had to go through, just because Pinkie Pie could not accept the fact that Gilda just wants to hang out with Raindash and only Raindash? I don't know. It kind of gives me odd, and I just feel like it's in a bit of an odd situation. So yeah, Gilda gets angry at the fact that Raindash does it, she leaves, and we don't see her again until season 5. And I don't actually remember what she does in season 5, because I haven't seen season 5, to be fair. So, I don't know how Gilda, I know Gilda's in season 5 because I was told by a friend of mine, but I really don't know what her role is in that episode. I believe it is the last treasure of Griffon Stone or something. I don't know. I won't think too deeply about it. I just know Gilda finally returns after 4 seasons. Because even despite the fact that I had Gilda as one of my least favorite characters my least favorite character of the show, I always wanted to see her come back because I like to see them redeem her. And I still haven't seen the episode, so I won't go to the redeeming part, but the point being is that this entire episode, when I first watched this, I was so negative towards Gilda. I couldn't stand her, I criticized her every second, everything involving Gilda, I just hated her. This is my least favorite character show. But looking back at it, was Gilda really as bad as I initially thought? I mean, Gilda, so she wants to hang out with Raindash alone, and then eventually Gilda does lose it because she's just being selfish for just like, it seems like because she's Pinkie Pie's horses and stuff like that, but think about it, I still think that Gilda was just being annoyed by the fact that Gilda wouldn't leave, Pinkie Pie would not leave them alone. I don't know, it's just my opinion that maybe things would have been different if Pinkie Pie wasn't so quick to get to Gilda and make sure that everything's fine, I guess. I don't get it. And my opinion of this episode did not change. Like at all. I still give this episode the same rating as I did before, and I'm not going to change that. However, a couple things do change. One thing, I don't think Remember That's Just Moment is as great as I thought when I first watched this, especially when you watched season 4, but I'm just saying season 1 through episode 1 to 5 is one of the best moments of the first 5 episodes, but it's not as good as I remembered it. And as for Gilda, I said she was my least favorite character of the show when I first watched this. She's not even my bottom 5. She's not even the bottom 5, and I haven't seen the season 5 episode yet. Gilda has, to me, is not as bad as I initially thought. She was actually, I felt like a legitimate friend to Rainbow Dash, who had a bad personality, but it wasn't really seen until Pink Pie annoyed the hell out of her, where she just could not handle the fact that maybe they didn't want to be together. I still haven't emphasized the fact, and I'm repeating myself, because that's when things started getting crazy. It wouldn't have happened if Pink Pie, maybe it wouldn't have happened if Pink Pie could just accept the facts. So yeah, I didn't expect this video to be long at all. I thought it'd be 7 minutes. Instead, it's 26 minutes. I was going to call this a brief analysis, but I'm probably just going to call this analysis instead. This is way longer than it probably should have been. But yeah, this is what I think of this episode. It's an episode that has, my opinion hasn't changed on the episode, but Gilda is a lot better than I initially saw her, and I feel like it's good that they brought her back. I don't have anything else to say, other than if you don't think this analysis is enough in any sort of way, you can always watch my fan commentaries of the show. We're doing a fan commentary of every episode, because as I mentioned in the very first video, I have actually not seen the first season the longest of time, and this is how I'm going to do it, basically, is that if there's an episode interesting enough, I will do a brief analysis of said episode. Like, for example, I will not do the brief analysis of the first 4 episodes, because there wasn't enough for me to talk about. It wasn't interesting enough, there was not much for me to say, and I won't do it. I only do episodes that I think is interesting enough. Basically, what I'm saying is, like, I'm not going to do a brief analysis of every episode. I'll do a brief analysis of an episode right after I do a commentary of it. And like the last video I uploaded was the 5th episode of fan commentary, and then that's when I discovered things. And I go scene by scene. Obviously, I didn't show every picture here, because it wasn't important enough to emphasize, but if you want to see my initial reaction to some of these scenes, because I'm pretty sure I had some initial reaction, basically, like I basically never saw it, because again, it's such a long time since I've seen season 1 that I forget some scenes. But that's what I'm saying, is that I kind of have some blind reaction, having no idea what's going on, basically. And it's kind of like a blind reaction. Like, I've seen the episodes, but I forgot about them. So yeah, next time I might be doing a brief analysis of Ghostbusters, and as far as I can remember that episode, I should be able to do a brief analysis of that episode. But maybe it's not as analytical as I could get it to be. This video's gone long enough. I'll try to shorten the next one. This is very long. Yeah, I'm Luigi Fan here, signing off.